What a win for the Indian team. Very close, right down to the wire, winning by 2 runs. Jubilant scenes when it comes to the Indian camp, and I'm not talking about the fans, even the players seem to be very excited, especially captain Hardik Pandya. I think big relief also for him because the game was really, on a knife's edge throughout the last 3-4 overs. Actually, the second half of that entire game was very exciting. Lots of ups and downs. Eventually, India have managed to defend a low total on a small ground, on a batting friendly pitch. So kudos to the Indian bowlers, but it could have gone either ways. Will Karunaratne now be, looking back and ruining the opportunity? 2 deliveries which were not given wides, which he thought were wides, but didn't swing at it. And at the end of the day, the margin is so small, 2 runs. If not a boundary, they could have easily gotten like a couple of runs. As Amit Yadav is saying, I'm not going to use the first word he's using, but Karunaratne leaving easy balls for, thinking that it's wide. I think that is something that he's going to look back and really, really regret. But what initial thoughts about the game?
You mentioned right at the start a huge sigh of relief for Hardik. I think also because if things wouldn't have gone their way, or India's way, a lot of people would have questioned that Hardik, he was left with 1 over. He had bowled just 3 overs from his quota of 4 overs, and he chose to give Akshar Patel, who was already very expensive today. So he chose to give him the ball to bowl that last over. A lot of people would have questioned. And then Karunaratne, I thought he took a risk, Karunaratne, towards the end when he allowed just left those balls to go to the keeper. It was a risk that he thought.
But tell me, isn't your natural instinct like that?
Absolutely.
When you're chasing, I mean, if I'm a batter, I'm going to swing at it.
Absolutely.
No matter what. I mean, that Ashwin one-off, it's a rare occasion where you leave and it actually is a wide. But I was really going down leg side. Here, both those occasions, I was
absolutely.
amazed.
I agree.
Also, another thing worth noting is that they had the front part, so the offside is empty. If he clears the infield, boundary, 2 wide balls.
Yeah.
Swing at it.
I'm saying if not even a boundary, 2 runs. You could have run two singles or whatever. Yeah, game was done. He's going to look. But I agree that even I was surprised. But now I'm just looking at could that catch which Hardik took, after that he was clutching his muscles, could that have been the reason that he was not fit enough to bowl that final over?
But before that he had bowled 3 overs, you say?
Yes, he had. But if you remember that,
I
catch
remember. Yeah. At mid-on.
And then he was lying down, clutching his hamstring, was it, or some muscle he was?
I think must have been some cramp
or something.
Must have been a cramp.
But I'm saying after that, maybe he thought that he was not
quite
fit enough to be bowling.
Because it's pretty often. In fact, when we were watching this over, Shane and both of us, we were having a discussion now who'll bowl the last over. I was pretty confident that at least Hardik won't bowl that last over, and so obviously.
How were you confident?
I don't know. I thought that he won't bowl because I remember that Ireland game also where Umran Malik was on debut, and I think India were defending around 15-16 or 15-17 runs in the last over, and he gave Umran Malik the ball. So I thought here also, of course, Shivam Mavi had bowled out. Umran Malik had bowled out, Harshal Patel had bowled out. So he was left with just 3 options. I ruled Hardik out. Obviously, Yuzi Chahal wasn't the ideal choice at that moment. And Akshar Patel, because he can bowl with that, he has that pace also that could have been ideal. So I thought maybe, and as it turned out.
Hardik had also gone off the field after a point.
Yeah. Immediately after that, he went off. Off.
But as Deep Das Gupta was commentating, suggested that it was a bit of cramps. So it was not a muscle pull, as you also pointed out. That it was. So I'm saying possibly the cramps, and then after that, when he came, the advice he got, or maybe he was told that can't bowl, but you can be in the field. Maybe he would have been that I want to be there to be guiding my team. By the way, he was very animated with both Harshal and Akshar when they were leaking those runs. He looked a typical captain who was irritated and pointing out that what are you doing? Why aren't you bowl there? Why are you
Not
bowling
too
in
happy
the
with
arc?
the Patels.
Both Patels. Must be speaking to them in Gujarati only, the two of them.
Is it?
He's from Baroda, so
Yeah.
No, Harshal, because
Harshal
he
plays for Haryana, but is a
I don't know
Patel.
how fluent or familiar he is with
possible.
whatever local language that they speak, Gujarati or.
Gujarati only.
Yeah, it's okay.
No, there are other dialects also, no? There.
Kachhi, but it's quite similar to Gujarati. There's a slight dialect changes, yeah. Kathiawadi also.
Exactly.
Kathiawadi.
But I don't know. Our dear friend Siddharth is not here. Just wanted to check, how many players have won Player of the Match award
On debut?
on debut. Because I remember a few games. I think Virender Sehwag must have been one. I think in ODIs. I remember, although he made his, the game he got to play, the first game that he got to play, I think he must have gotten, he must have.
In T20s?
No, in ODIs.
In ODIs, yeah.
I'm not too.
In T20s, there's 6 who've done it.
Okay, DK, yes.
But
Yeah, but that was actually everyone's debut. That was the first ever T20
actually,
match. So Dinesh Karthik won it.
Yes.
Somebody had to win on debut, a T20 debut, because everyone was making a debut that time. India's first T20 international. I was there at that game in Joburg.
Everybody made their debut.
Everybody made their debut, yeah. And at that time, I remember that game. It was pretty interesting because they just played that one game between the tests and the ODIs, that one T20, and it was quite a atmosphere they had created with these Indian, in South Africa, Indian dancers and Bollywood songs were played and they were dancing and all of that had happened. So it was pretty interesting. So let's see. Who are the one? Go. Who are the one?
DK.
Okay.
Dinesh Karthik, first Indian to win T20I debut. Pragyan Ojha, sorry. Dinesh Karthik, I said first, then Pragyan Ojha. First Indian bowler to win man of the match on T20 debut. Then Badrinath, then Akshar Patel, then Barinder Sran. Navdeep
Barinder Sran
Saini.
in Australia.
Zimbabwe. Barinder Sran never played Australia.
Yeah, against Zimbabwe.
No, he went to Australia,
2016.
I remember.
But this match was against Zimbabwe.
Navdeep Saini against West Indies and Ishan Kishan.
And Harshal.
Acha, Ishan Kishan, Ishan Kishan and Suryakumar both made their debut together. And
Harshal Patel.
And
Ravi Bishnoi.
who's no longer.
So he is actually the 10th Indian to get the man of the match on his T20I debut. So 10th Indian to be precise. But in terms of bowlers, he is 4th or 5th, right? Barinder Sran, Harshal Patel, Pragyan Ojha, right? Ravi Bishnoi.
That's it. That's your.
So 5th bowler then. Yeah. Let me check. Somebody is asking me to check. Oh, 1 second. Just. I was reading something. Okay, they were. He's saying they were talking in Gujarati. They may have been talking in Gujarati.
I too can't.
I'll just check. This
is what I get.
No, he's not. He's just something in general. Very skillful from Mavi. By the way, let's talk about Mavi. That's very interesting. Because again, let's be honest. We were not very bullish about Mavi playing ahead of Arshdeep, and probably he wouldn't have played ahead of Arshdeep had Arshdeep been fit. What we're getting to know that he wasn't fit. So Mavi plays. Despite his not outstanding IPL career, but he's had a good domestic run, I believe.
Yes,
so he came in and it was quite skillful. I mean, that first wicket, on the seam, darting in, then using the slower ball really smartly to get a few wickets, some mistimed shots there as well. So all in all, it was a skillful display by Mavi. What was interesting is on most occasions when he picked up wickets, he got smashed for 4 or 2. And then from there would come and pick up wicket. So I don't know whether the batsmen are then, because a lot of them got out playing shots, whether the batsmen thought that this is the bowler we need to target, because they were finding it very difficult to get runs against Umran Malik. That's one thing that you clearly notice. His pace was troubling them. Yeah. The one way that they were finding to get runs against Umran was just dab it down to third man. Other than that, it was very tough. And the one time I think Asalanka did try to take him on. He got beaten for pace where he got caught. So I think the damage was being done by Umran on one side, and then Mavi on that other reap the benefits, because I guess they tried to see, if you take a look at the wickets, Mavi wickets, I think the batsman thought that this is the guy we need to target to get runs, and he got lucky.
I'll tell you, initially Kuldeep Yadav, there was a toss-up between Kuldeep Yadav and a fast bowler. So Kuldeep Yadav could have been part of this T20 squad, but it was Hardik Pandya who insisted that I want a fast bowler. So Kuldeep Yadav had to be dropped out, and they went with just 3 spinners and 1 extra fast bowler, because Hardik Pandya as a captain, he insists that I want fast bowlers, and when he says fast bowlers, he means fast bowlers who can bowl quick, say about 140 Ks. So Shivam, because a lot of people, even to me, it was actually a surprise when I saw Shivam Mavi's name in that squad for the T20s, because I was just wondering, why Shivam Mavi? There were so many players that we all have been talking about, the likes of Mohsin Khan, Kuldeep Sen, Avesh Khan, so many fast bowlers. But Shivam Mavi, maybe it's his pace that may have impressed Hardik Pandya. Secondly, we can always say that he has played for Gujarat Titans under Hardik Pandya. Maybe that could have been a clincher, and there's nothing wrong to it. A lot of people would say,
he's
plays
never
for
actually played.
Yeah, but
he
the
was
thing
picked up
is,
in this year's auction.
this is interesting.
He's not played for GT.
No, okay, fine, okay.
Yeah, but I'm saying,
they must have seen something.
Yes,
correct.
They must have seen something in Shivam Mavi. That is the reason why they went for him, Shivam Mavi, and they actually had to shell out a decent amount to get exactly.
So instead, which is interesting, because a lot of people pointed out that they picked Mavi maybe because he's Gujarat Titan, but I'm saying, why don't we look at it the other way around, where we say that Hardik actually saw something in him and picked him for Gujarat Titans, and if he's seen something in him to pick him for his IPL team, then it would be foolish. He's not going to bet on him in an Indian side also, right? If he's the captain, if there is something that he believes in and he's gone with for his IPL franchise, then it will be double standards actually, that he's good enough to play for the IPL team, and you think though, no, I don't want him for an Indian team. So clearly he's seen something, and I think that's consistency on part of Hardik Pandya, and there seemed to be some sort of good bonding, or I don't know, understanding between the two, where they were, Hardik was pretty happy with what he was executing. They shook hands, I think, a couple of times.
You take a call, if you've made a decision to get a youngster into the Indian team, into the Indian 11, it's not just about the squad, it's also about the Indian 11. There are players who've been travelling with the Indian team for months, haven't got a game. Here's Shivam Mavi, who gets picked up on 28th of this month. He gets a national call-up, and just 4 days later, 5 days later, he's playing his first international game and picks up a 4-wicket haul. Who, of course, Shivam Mavi would be very happy, but a call that was taken by Hardik Pandya, he's justified that decision, that Shivam Mavi has justified the faith that Hardik had shown on him. So and Hardik is also, he also comes from that, he is also somebody just like Virat Kohli. He also wanted to have those express fast bowlers. I think Hardik is also from that.
I guess the other reason why Hardik may be doing is that because he himself isn't sure of whether he'll be bowling. And then I'm sure he must have realized in Asia Cup, where you just went with 3 bowlers and you didn't have a backup. So So he's saying, okay, I'm going to play 3 for sure, with me not being certain, and I need one person extra. And like it happened today,
And-
for example, Arshdeep wasn't fit, and if you hadn't had that extra bowler,
You
And-
might have
and-
spinner. Correct.
And to be fair to Hardik Pandya, he's been very honest to admit it also, Nikhil. What you are saying, he has admitted this in the
Yeah.
past. That I'm not too sure about my body. There are times when I don't feel like bowling. I know that something can go wrong. So I always have a cover within the 11. Deepak Hooda, Deepak Hooda has been playing under so many captains. Perhaps Hardik Pandya has been able to get the best out of him.
Correct.
they had 7
As an
bowling
all-rounder.
options today. India went in with 7 bowling options. That's another thing that they did not go to a Deepak Hooda. Probably they didn't need to. Maybe if Asalanka had gone on to get some runs, they thought maybe let's bring him.
Throw him on.
But they didn't bring him at that
But just to carry forward the point that Raul was making, is this a sustainable thought though to go forward with that? Okay, there can be times that my back feels a little stiff, and I can't.
No, you
possibly-
had a frontline bowler, by the way. It's not that you have the makeshift arrangement. You had a frontline fast bowler. Shivam Mavi, his.
No, the last over. I'm saying in particular the last over where you ideally would have wanted a seamer to be bowling, but can you go forward with the thought that okay, there can be times that I'll be tentative. What if there was a David Miller on the other side? Could you have said that?
No, but I'm just saying that if let's assume, I think what happened today, again as I'm saying, I'm just giving benefit of the doubt to Hardik. Maybe his plan was to bowl that 4th over. Maybe that cramp that he got while taking a catch then ensured that he doesn't bowl the 4th over. But going forward, if he's not going to be bowling, and let's say he knows before the game starts that he's not bowling, then he needs to rotate his fast bowlers in such a way that there is a bowler available to bowl the
Towards the
20th. You
end.
can't have a spinner bowl.
Right.
Because that today both your spinners got hammered. So he was left with no option. They would have clearly today, I think Yuzi bowled only 2 and I think Akshar bowled 3. So under normal circumstances, one spinner would have bowled 4
Exactly.
overs.
So
he wouldn't
it's
have had
not
this
that
problem.
his calculations got wrong. It's just that he didn't because it wasn't a day for Yuzi
spinners.
Chahal, even for Akshar Patel,
yeah.
today. So between them, they just managed to bowl 5 overs.
Yeah.
Just over 5 bowler. 5.
Yeah.
In fact, 5 overs.
Just 5, exactly.
So not every day you'll have a Yuzi Chahal bowling just 2 overs.
Yep.
So that's one thing.
Yep.
Run down.
Yeah.
Did Chamika lose it by misjudging the whites twice?
Yes. 100%.
You've thrown it.
2 dot balls last over.
PM run down.
Yeah, I think you just if you see the start of our discussion, I think that's exactly what we had said. That if any other batsman, he would have tried it. He would have swung his bat, but not Chamika. If he goes back, looks at the highlights, sees those few wides, he's going to be like, what have I done?
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, it's interesting what Neela Kandan is saying. Is it time to look beyond Harshal Patel? And I think the pressure will be on Harshal now, especially
Exactly.
when Arshdeep is fit.
Arshdeep is fit. Someone like a Mavi's made a case
And
for
these
himself to not be
youngsters.
dropped. Exactly. And Harshal, to be fair, is recent months hasn't really
No, in
covered
fact,
himself in glory.
Just before he got injured,
There was danger on his spot.
but he was actually leaking runs at that time, and when he came back after that injury, then also he was giving away far too many runs.
Correct.
And we thought maybe things would be different this time around, but here also he did get 2 wickets early on, and 2 important wickets, by the way, but then gave away 41 runs.
What has Huda got?
They have a lot of awards nowadays.
Man of the match is Mavi for sure, right?
Yeah.
He got the game changer.
4
No,
wickets.
who? Mavi is the man of the
So
match?
that would probably be man of the match. Official.
No. Deepak Hooda is player of the match. My friend.
It's surprising.
So
No,
all the
not possible, yeah.
Yeah.
yes.
See?
Player of the match is Deepak Hooda. That's what I said. That so all our calculation of players getting man of the match on debut
Went for nothing. Went for a
I
toss.
thought usually in matches, I'm not talking about the final match of the series. Usually, first your losing captain comes, then your winning captain comes, then they announce the player of the match.
Exactly. Here's just going
So
on
here's
vibes.
maybe here they may have changed.
These are
It's just vibes.
T20 vibes.
Everything
So
is
they've done
changing
losing
related
captain,
to
man of
winning.
the match, then the winning captain, the big one, winning captain. comes
Maybe
at the
everybody
10th.
wants to-
No, though I can't fault it. 41 in those crucial moments where you were
Yeah.
going for 130, 40, something like that, and he takes you to 162 at a strike rate of 180. Incredible batting. Because at the end of the day, the margin is just 2 runs. So that knock also.
He also managed, I think, at one point, he had 2 consecutive sixes of Tikshana. Totally changed the momentum.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm saying at the end of the day, that entire partnership.
But
Akshar would say I'm also a contender.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Bowled
Because
the last over.
31 runs out of 20 balls,
And bowled the last over.
Won you the
Under
match.
Bowled
pressure.
perhaps the most decisive
Exactly.
over.
And for a
Could have
spinner,
good
a
shots
lot
there.
of pressure. To
13
bowl
runs
that
to defend.
Yeah.
For a spinner, it is difficult.
It is.
Not for a...
Okay, but if you had to give man of the match, let's do a vote. If you were to give man of the match,
Oh, I would have given it to Mavi, 100%.
KKR.
No, but he's no longer kicking.
Akshar.
You're going to Akshar Patel
Yeah. Saved
for
the
his
match.
last over
And the hitting.
31. Okay.
Couple of lusty blows towards the end.
I don't disagree with the choice from the commentators or the organizer or the whoever has decided.
Commentators usually, yeah.
basically. You never know. But I think Shivam Mavi, they could have given.
Yeah, actually, I was just going to say that. I would have
Young
also
boy
gone with
making his
Shivam
debut.
Mavi for 4 wickets at an economy of 5. On a ground with smaller boundaries, good batting track usually, yeah, I'd have gone. Because, I mean, let's say if Huda would have got you a 60 odd,
Then yes.
then maybe I would have thought of him. But yeah, I would also have gone. Again, but that always happens, and they're very unfair to bowlers all the time. So so basically what they say is a 5-wicket haul is like a century, right? A fifer. In fact, it will be a 4-wicket in T20 should be equal to a century, because if you just look at the frequency,
4 wickets should be a century. I think 3 wickets.
could be a
24
4.
balls.
3, 4,
I'm
yeah.
saying 4, not 5, because see the number of centuries in T20 and compare it to 5-wicket hauls, there'll be
Very
more
less.
centuries than 5. So I think 4 could be equated.
Yeah.
So I mean 4 wickets vis-a-vis 41 runs, even though they came at amazing. I mean we should not ignore the strike rate of 178 clearly in T20, very important. But still, I think edge to
And also, the kind of innings that both Huda and Akshar played, it also, when you head towards the dressing room, when you are heading towards the dressing room after the end of the innings, you are taking the momentum with them. And when you come back onto the field, then also it is the fielding team that has the momentum. But then Shivam Mavi, you never know, 162 after Sri Lanka had elected to field. They would have thought that 162 is a par score maybe.
Was that Dasun Shanaka's catch by UZ Chahal bowled by Shivam Mavi, was it?
Yeah. Mavi was on.
So again, as I said, was
No,
that
it was Umran.
That was
Umran, sorry, yeah.
Umran
Chahal
gave the
Was that the game-changing moment?
Yes.
No doubt. He was on song and he looked unstoppable. So yeah,
And Shanaka can be brutal.
we've seen that for
Yeah.
for what, 6 months now.
Yeah.
Indians especially have been on the receiving end
Definitely.
of Dasun Shanaka. Today also was looking good. I think that, and I think that again, if you get him to play that ball, 9 times out of 10 he wouldn't have hit that shot to the fielder. I think it was that.
It was also, by the way,
Ball
no, it was
there.
it was a length ball, but also the fastest ball of the match.
Exactly.
155
The
Ks.
pace did him.
155 Ks, fastest of the
Umran,
match.
that's the difference. A
I was,
pacer.
by the way, it was a tough catch also. I was watching the replay.
Yeah, Yuzi took a very good catch.
Amazing catch.
Amazing catch.
Usually misfielded also.
Yeah.
I was thinking, it was like us fielding when we were playing.
In the
Similar
boundary.
standards, yeah.
But that catch, yeah. Otherwise, Sri Lanka were on song. They would have won this game.
Mutturangam.
Those 2 runs which Mavi saved off UZ misfield. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he put in a dive.
What a dive that
Yeah, he
was.
put in a
My
dive.
God.
Yeah.
And that I think after a over he had bowled, and he was
Yes,
fielding
after the
there,
4th over that he
ran,
completed.
and then got that,
Yes.
fielded that. Actually, Shivam Mavi at that time was everywhere, bowling, picking up wickets, fielding, outstanding fielding at that. Yeah.
Also, good composure from him. After he bowled a couple of looseners, got whacked for a couple of boundaries in the first over itself, got that ball to jack back, then again got rewarded in the second over that he bowled. So showed good temperament, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. What is Shobham saying? So we have criticized Rohit for giving an over to Avesh when he had
remember that
movie
day.
in hand.
Yeah.
But now Hardik gave it to Akshar and he said he wants to keep India in difficult situations. Just we won it, right? So Shobham, if you saw a show, the way it started, I don't think we pulled any punches, and we were quite open in our criticism of that wasn't the right way to go about it. Should have given him that over. And so if he criticized Rohit, we have also criticized Hardik Pandya. But I'm saying benefit of the doubt to Hardik, we don't know whether he was fit enough to.
Plus, the criticism would have been a lot more if they lost.
Yeah.
And simple thing, nothing succeeds like success.
Exactly. Aditya Kavlekar's question is good. Look at the present form and consistency. Do you all agree we don't have a good spinner in the team and spinners is a worry? I agree with him because Yuzi, whilst we supported his inclusion in the World Cup and he was unfairly dropped,
But now,
and maybe we can get into the reasons why. At the moment, his form has been patchy recently, and I think maybe it could be a lot to do with maybe you played around with his confidence also by dropping him, not playing him, whatever be the reason. That is another thing that needs to be looked at, and that is only something that he will have to find a way to get over. Nobody else can help him, how he gets his groove back or confidence back. But at the moment, if I was to just look at it objectively as to whether there is a worry for spinners, yes, both in terms of Akshar Patel, who also was showing promise, is now beginning to be expensive, and Yuzi Chahal. Yes, the one who was looking very good was dropped.
Yeah.
And
Bangladesh.
And you have to understand that for any bowler, whether he's a spinner or a fast bowler, especially when you are a fast bowler and a leg spinner, the best thing that you can do is to bowl. Yeah. The more you bowl, the better you get. Now the T20 World Cup began in October. He hardly played any cricket there. I don't know.
He played.
No, actually, hardly, as in even during the practice sessions also. So I'm saying, I don't know. You must have seen how many balls did he bowl in the nets.
He was coming.
But how many balls was he bowling? Maybe 4 overs, 2 overs, 3 overs. I don't know how many balls.
So he was bowling. Then, but again, it's never the same as a match.
Exactly. Then you go to thereafter. Immediately after that, you went to New Zealand. There, half of the matches were washed out. I think he must have bowled at most maybe 10 overs in that. On that entire tour, I think must have bowled not more than 10 overs.
Yeah.
Okay. Then here also he played that Ranji game against Baroda in Lali, and was very expensive, and I think went wicketless also, at least in the first innings. So I think in the last few weeks, months, he hasn't bowled too much, and for a leg spinner, the best thing is to practice. So maybe but that's not an excuse. You are playing international cricket. You can't give an excuse that I've not been bowling a lot in the nets or haven't been getting games, because if you aren't, so tell them, go and play the Ranji Trophy. It's as of now it's going on.
No, maybe credit to, let's say, Hardik. Maybe he realizes that maybe he's low on confidence. Maybe he wants to play him and get that confidence back. We don't know. But it's a double-edged sword. Such situations can either take you down, further down into the abyss. Yes, it's happened with it's happened with or it can really work your way where after a few games, I mean, sometimes it's just a matter of one match. Yes, exactly what I was going to say. Sometimes it's a matter of one game. You get a few wickets and you're there. And maybe as captain, he knows that, or maybe he knows the potential. I think I was reading today, he's on the verge of becoming the highest wicket taker for India in T20s. I think
Movies were 90, I believe. He's with 80.
So clearly there is quality, which he realizes as captain, and as a captain you would want all sorts of weapons with you, right? So clearly there is that. But again.
But there's also something that we need to notice. I don't know if when Hardik was leading the side in New Zealand, I don't think Yuzi Chahal bowled his full quota of overs, even in those matches where the match went the full distance.
Because he was proving to be expensive. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
So for example,
he went
today,
to Deepak Hooda in New Zealand.
Today he would have bowled him, had
But
he
why not today?
picked
Was
up a
this
wicket
because
or
your
Three
two
wickets.
foremost spinners weren't getting you wickets anyway? Didn't want to try another spinner? Would that have
Huda.
been?
Yeah.
No, I think it was too late. See, by the time I don't think you would have gambled with him there, and also you had, I think, right-handers batting. So
Exactly.
just
I
get
think
an
that was the
off-spinner.
problem. See, Yuzi wasn't being smacked for sixes by the left-handers, by the way. He was being hit for
Hasaranga
sixes.
hit him for
Exactly.
2 sixes.
So at that time,
Flat
what
batted
you
him.
are saying, right-handers were batting. So maybe Hardik would have, at that time at least, he must have chosen not to take that risk of bowling Huda there.
Yeah. No, but there is pressure, of course, there.
And there's
on-
pressure even in terms of bench strength, because I think yesterday we had done one video where you're talking about the CAC and the questions they asked to potential selection candidates. One of 4 was, what do you want to do for India's lack of depth in spin bowling? So it's something they've clearly recognized as a problem. So there is really and
So what was the winning answer?
I have no idea.
Like it was like Miss India contest. Now you are asked.
That we'll get to know. I don't know. I thought.
Should have been what, today?
Yeah, but now maybe tomorrow, hopefully, or maybe
day after.
at around once the match got over, everybody is free, heading back. Suddenly, tang, email.
Yeah, and to be fair, Bishnoi I think has been kind of unfairly discarded, if you ask me. See, what was his one weakness?
Has he been playing lately?
That's also a problem.
I think there could have been a few fitness issues with him.
Manikant Reddy is saying, can you officially now say that the Indian team is not that threatening anymore?
Which team?
The Indian team.
They just won a match.
He's saying the fact that it was dramatic win. That's what he means.
Yeah, but then give some respect to Sri Lanka also.
Yeah. No, but this was the kind of criticism that we had in that Bangladesh series as well. That India weren't just putting the lid. They need to kill off games. That killer instinct. Where is that?
But I mean, most T20 games will go down to the wire. So be prepared to watch T20 games. It will go down to the wire, irrespective of which teams are playing. Most. How many times will you see T20 games where?
No, so are we saying that? I think that's the question there. Are we not potent enough anymore or lethal enough anymore to?
But I'm saying, what would describe potency or you being lethal? Will only be big margin wins in T20 cricket be an indicator of that? Because if you're actually looking for that, you will rarely get those in T20 cricket. Rarely.
Even remember, even England, the only real big margin they had in the
was
World
India.
Cup was India.
Yeah.
And that was because we were horrible on the day.
Yeah. All the other games, they actually scraped through to the
Yes,
semis
yeah.
also.
Yeah.
Even the final, by the way, could have swung either way.
Yeah.
So I think that is the difference. What I'm saying is the better team will always win, but
Or
don't
find a
So the
way.
expect
margins are
those-
going to be fine.
Yeah. Yeah, listening to the conversation. He's aged, suddenly. Sangha?
Did you feel it that way? That day you had a chat with him?
Here it's quite more visible. See?
Yeah.
He is easy.
Huh? He is?
Look at the Indian cricketers.
They're all young. And he's the same vintage as those guys. And
Actually,
yeah. And he seems to have aged.
played the World Cup final together.
Ruturaj debuted for India in T20 format in July 2021 and he's back in the team, but a new opener gets debut. Will it be hard for Ruturaj? Will it be a dent on his confidence? Shubham, I think we answered that at the pre-show also. I'm not surprised that Ishan Kishan and Shubman Gill opened. It's also got to do with how they are performing in other format. And we said that Ruturaj did get chances. Some of them he didn't grab and the others he got injured actually. So that also went against him.
And what should be more comforting for him is the fact that he is not out of the reckoning, despite whatever has happened.
He's still in the squad.
Exactly. That means he's
Like
still
an Avesh, a Bishnoi,
Yes.
look at them. Totally
Exactly.
out.
He's still on the radar.
I mean, I'm just saying that doesn't mean, I'm just looking at the number of injuries that are happening to Indian team and changes that you make. I don't think it'll be a scenario where he won't get a chance. Ruturaj Gaikwad. I think he will. Just when, and he has to grab it. Shubham is saying Mavi performed well, but he is not express pace. His average speed was 133 today. Yeah, which is true. Mukesh Kumar deserved his chance, performing well in domestic with 140 pace.
But to be fair, Mavi was bowling a fair few cutters in between.
A lot.
When he was ramping it up, though, he was getting past the 140 mark comfortably.
Yes.
He's never lacked speed.
Yeah.
Consistency on the other hand, yeah.
He's usually
deck.
closer to 140 Ks,
Yeah.
and as Shane also pointed out, usually at least he'll bowl at least a couple of slower ones in
In
his
an over. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's again, as I said, it is overall, if I was to judge this win, because you're going to judge this new team, so they needed a win to start off. And secondly, Sri Lanka seemed like a very set. India, came with a
Yes.
newish team. Sri Lankan team has been set for the last,
Few
6-8
months.
months. This is that Asia Cup team which is playing.
yeah.
So they are very set, very established.
Very-
to have beaten them, I think
very
it is a lot of positive.
familiar 11 for Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
And for
Yeah.
this team, you need to give them some time to gel with each other, with the support staff. A lot of new faces in this team. A few nervous, jittery faces in that team. So you need to give them a fair bit of time before they, and also just to find the core of this team.
Yeah.
What is the core? As of now, you can, Hardik Pandya and
Sky.
Surya Kumar Yadav. That's it.
Arshdeep
Just-
also, perhaps.
Arshdeep, but
Yeah.
Arshdeep
He
is
will
also
make the
fairly,
core.
but I get your point. You're right. But these are two short people in this team.
Yeah.
When I say somebody can, there's a
6 months ago, there would have been a UZ chair.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
actually UZ Chahal also to an extent you can say.
Perhaps. Again, they were one of those, you'd say he's on the fences of that core if we can't really put him in that core. For this whole reason, he is.
Bowlers, you usually don't put them amongst the core group.
Core.
But see, if not him, then you actually don't have a spinner to put in your core then, and that's just sad about Indian cricket in that case.
Ashwin
if you can't say,
Ashwin is sitting
see,
somewhere rubbing his hands.
no.
also,
one who's
the
rubbing
point
his
about-
hand is Ravindra Jadeja. But he doesn't need to rub his hand. He will be back.
He's walking into the 11.
he's walking in.
I think, yeah.
Him, Bumrah, these are automatic
Yeah.
walk-ins. Sorry?
Who, Jadeja?
Never say never in this.
Yeah, but I think that it'll be tough to leave him out. As I'm saying, just on merit right now. Very tough to leave him out.
You've left out somebody like Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, KL Rahul.
Yeah, but again, they are competing with some younger batsmen or that sort. Because you're also talking about no depth in spinner. Also, you're looking at players with different dimensions.
In T20s, you can never say that Jadeja will win you games with his bowling. You can never say that.
He can win you with his batting now, by the way.
Yes, I know he has improved a lot as a
And his
batter, and perhaps
fielding-
that is the reason
And fielding.
why he's
Fielding.
so essential. See, fielding.
And the contest is simple. It's him against Aksar.
Yeah, correct.
Exactly.
No, he was always ahead of Akshar. It's just that
So,
he is not there. That is
so
the
even-
reason why.
that's what
But
I'm saying,
Do not
even-
forget there is a Washington Sundar as well.
Yeah, different bowlers, bro. They're
Yeah,
different bowlers.
so
Different
that's what
bowlers,
I'm
some
saying.
of- lot of
So that's what I'm saying. I understand you, but you people are saying, and I agree with you that maybe Jadeja is ahead today. When we say that whenever Jadeja is fit, he'll just walk into the 11. Maybe today that stands right, but we never know. Maybe 2 months down the line, because there is a 21, 22-year-old Washington Sundar. He also has improved his batting a lot, by the way.
think he's
He may
well-
not be a very good fielder, Washington Sundar. And Jadeja, he has to play all three formats. I don't know about his injury status.
And age also kind of catching up with him.
He's defying age
He can.
Yeah, but injuries.
with his fitness.
Very difficult.
No,
though.
that injury
He's
was-
been out for more than 4 months.
That
now.
is quote unquote freak injury.
Yeah.
Freak injury. That was a
No,
freak.
will you call it a freak injury?
It's a,
Yeah, you were doing water sport.
that's the word they use, freak injury.
But the injury
accident. They
happens
never.
earlier.
The BCCI never put things out very clearly with regards to his injury or addressed it for that matter.
So basically, he had a knee issue. He had a knee issue.
But it's a callous injury.
He delayed the surgery. Then he went for that water cycling.
Yeah.
Well, what is
Then the next thing that we get to know is
Bye bye.
freak?
वापस आ जाओ.
Ravindra Jadeja met with a freak incident.
So that's what I'm
That's how
saying.
that's how they said it.
And with Jadeja, you're not even sure that he will give you 4 overs in every game in T20s. So that's
No, he
another
will
thing.
give you 4 overs.
Let's go.
We're just taking some money quotes. The little money that we can earn. फाइनल क्वेश्चन ले लो, ये क्या है? शुभम्स क्वेश्चन प्लीज.
नहीं अब जा ही रहे हम.
What is your biggest takeaway from this victory? One takeaway.
One takeaway, I don't know, let's see.
He only cares about the
Shivam
takeaway
Mavi.
he ordered.
And his takeaway is Shivam Mavi.
I didn't order takeaway, I was Sidhu.
Acha, you didn't order.
That's
What
it.
is your takeaway from this game?
Shivam Mavi is a better talent than I gave him today. So.
Hardik is not afraid to lose.
My biggest takeaway is the guy who will not get the credit for this win. That was Umran Malik. It was not so, I mean, Shivam Mavi picked up wickets, Deepak Hooda did well, but I think the X factor this game was Umran Malik.
They were scared of him.
And he didn't give runs. So you see, Mavi, they went to get runs against him and gave wickets.
I think I was just sharing a story.
What is your big takeaway? Don't make Jalebi.
No, that Shivam. Why is Shivam Mavi in this team?
Because he's playing domestic cricket, others are not. You told the selectors?
Yeah,
I don't know. Could be.
I don't get to speak to selectors.
You don't get to speak to the selectors.
They don't speak to me. I don't get to because they don't speak to me.
They don't speak to you.
I've been asked to lay low. No, but I'm saying
Coming back to the
Hardik Pandya wants express fast bowlers in his team, which is a good thing.
Okay. Who's told you? Who's told you?
Somebody
Who?
with whom I don't get to speak to. No, Hardik wants fast bowlers and.
Who told you?
Why do you want to know my source?
source, you should say source.
Have you ever asked your reporter Nitin Srivastav who is his source? Sir, source ने कहा है. Sir, source ने कहा है अभी आ रहा हूँ.
Ashit, what is your big takeaway?
My takeaway being that Akshar Patel, as I said earlier as well, was my man of the match.
How?
With the bat, with the ball as well, you asked him to save 13 runs for you. And he picked up 2
I
wickets.
wanted Hardik to bowl the last over. Yeah.
We
We all did.
But I think
My
Hardik,
biggest takeaway is India did not give up when they just had 162 on the board. They did not think, chalo yaar.
But in the past, India has won games defending scores in the vicinity of 160.
Especially in bilaterals.
When
Bilateral, we won.
it was a young team, and halfway through the game, social media was flooded with names people want us to go back to. The fact is, this young team did not give up. They fought and they won.
and helped a little by Karunaratne, who let 2 balls go, thinking he tried to be
And
Ashwin.
why was he asking for wides? Yeah.
Exactly,
There was
man.
nowhere near the wide.
That at that stage, which batsman is not going to have a swing at the ball?
Secondly,
A little
his game was this side.
Exactly.
You should have gone
the other
inside
side, yeah.
rather than going away from the.
Yeah, absolute. Aided by Karunaratne.
No, but what I was saying was that Hardik Pandya, in fact, the
Biggest
selectors.
master stroke was courtesy Misbah Haq. That could have ended up as the biggest blunder in the final of a World Cup.
Scoop shot.
So
Yeah.
ultimately, Hardik Pandya is your champion. But I am worried looking at Hardik Pandya every game. I will be worried every game.
ये तो है.
No, today he did not bowl the last over, probably because of the cramps that he got.
Exactly.
Otherwise, he would have thought of bowling that over.
I am worried about Yuzi Chahal.
As in,
His form or lack thereof.
why is he bowling like that?
No, why is he bowling like that?
Why is he bowling?
Why is he bowling?
Huh?
Why is he bowling?
No, I am saying he is not even completing his
You know how
full.
many people are watching us?
He is not even completing his full quota of overs. And this is not the first time. In the last T20 series that India played, 5,000?
He'll have to pull up his socks.
Yeah.
जी भैया.
Chalo. Match tomorrow, yeah. Finally.
Chalo, see
We
you
do, we
guys.
don't.
अरे यार.
Yeah,
There's
अच्छा आपको
so much
inform.
happening.
नहीं, finally. The last word is there's a game happening tomorrow, 10:30.
Biggest takeaway कल मिलेगा.
That's the biggest takeaway.
And
See you.
Neeraj has been entrusted with the job of getting 2 kg whatever.
इमेजिन सर आपने तो सिर्फ लाने के लिए बोला था, पकाने के लिए तो नहीं बोला.
अरे ले आएगा.
Imagine if he gets 2 kgs of raw meat. Sir, please have it.
Paneer.
Oh, I was asking for paneer.
Paneer.
Paneer? I thought you've given up on eating paneer and all these things.
When?
You turn vegan, no?
Oh, that was in 2020.
2000.
2000.
No, yeah. I went vegan for a month.
For a month.
For 1 month. 1 full month. Yuvraj Singh tweeted, said, Paji, it is not easy. I said, if he's saying so, then
I know, that is why I never turned vegan.
you won't believe. एक दिन ना वो some Thai restaurant, they wanted to send us food. तो काफी सारा. उसमें भी मेरे लिए
क्रुआ
vegan-
थाई.
हाँ vegan menu list से खाना आया था, बताओ. I was stupid enough.
And he say, बेवकूफ, मैं vegan हूँ भी नहीं फिर भी भेज दे. एक ट्वीट क्या कर दिया.
So much for red curry and green curry.
Yeah.
Okay, bye bye. See
See
you.
you. Good
Vanakkam.
night.
चलो यार आ जाओ.